Being in prison is not easy. But over the years, even some of the greatest football players have come close to losing their careers due to major mistakes. In fact, some of them have even ended up behind bars. In this video, we'll take a look at the footballers who have gone through problems with the law in the past. But have the problems been solved? In 2016, Lionel Messi faced a challenge even he couldn't dribble around. In 2013, the name Lionel Messi made headlines for a reason no fan ever expected: tax fraud. The Spanish tax authorities launched an investigation that would threaten Messi's reputation and even his freedom. Along with his father, Jorge Messi, the football star was accused of using a network of offshore companies in Belize and Uruguay to avoid paying over 4 million euros in taxes between 2007 and 2009. This wasn't just about unpaid taxes. It was about image rights, the millions Messi earned from endorsement deals with brands like Adidas and Pepsi. Instead of reporting these earnings in Spain, where the tax rates were higher, Messi's team channeled the money through shell companies in tax havens, making the funds nearly invisible to the Spanish tax office. Despite the mounting evidence, Messi maintained his innocence. He claimed he trusted his father and financial advisors entirely and had no knowledge of any wrongdoing. Messi famously said, "I only played football. I didn't know anything." But ignorance wasn't a defense that worked in court. In 2016, after a lengthy trial, the court found both Messi and his father guilty of tax fraud. Messi was sentenced to 21 months in prison, a shocking outcome for one of the world's most celebrated athletes. But in Spain, sentences under 2 years can be suspended for first-time, non-violent offenders. Instead of serving time behind bars, Messi's sentence was commuted to a hefty fine. He was ordered to pay 252,000 euros in place of prison time, while his father's fine was set at 180,000 euros. On top of that, Messi paid nearly 5 million euros in back taxes and additional fines to clear his name. Messi narrowly escaped prison, but the tax fraud case left a shadow over his legacy. His time in court showed that even the biggest names in sports aren't above the law. Yet for Messi, it was a wake-up call. He moved on from the scandal, refocused on football, and continued to dominate the sport like no one else. Karim Benzema, one of football's biggest stars, has built a legacy on the field with his impeccable talent. But off the field, he has had his share of controversies. In 2015, Benzema found himself entangled in a legal scandal that nearly derailed his career and almost landed him in prison. He only tried to mediate a difficult situation for his teammate. The story begins in October 2015, when news broke that Benzema was implicated in an attempt to blackmail his teammate, Mathieu Valbuena, over a private sex tape. Valbuena, who was playing alongside Benzema in the French national team, had been targeted by individuals threatening to release the intimate video unless he paid a substantial amount of money. The alleged blackmailers contacted Valbuena, and soon, Benzema's name surfaced in the case. Prosecutors argued that Benzema had approached Valbuena during a national team training session, urging him to deal with the blackmailers to avoid the video going public. According to investigators, Benzema's role wasn't just as a concerned teammate. The authorities believe that he was acting on behalf of the blackmailers, using his influence to convince Valbuena to pay. Benzema, however, insisted that he was only trying to help Valbuena avoid a scandal, claiming his intentions were misunderstood. Despite his protests, Benzema was formally charged with conspiracy to commit blackmail in November 2015. The case shocked the football world, and French authorities took it very seriously. Benzema faced the possibility of 5 years in prison if convicted. The scandal had immediate consequences. Benzema was suspended from the French national team, a move that sidelined him from the 2016 European Championship. French Prime Minister Manuel Valls publicly stated that Benzema had no place in the national team during such a scandal, deepening the public controversy. For nearly 6 years, Benzema's legal battle dragged on. The case was a cloud over his career, even as he continued to perform brilliantly for Real Madrid. His absence from the French squad became a topic of heated debate, especially during the 2018 World Cup, which France won without him. Then in 2021, the case came to trial. Benzema was convicted of complicity in the attempted blackmail. The court found that while he may not have been the mastermind behind the plot, his involvement was enough to warrant a 1-year suspended prison sentence. This meant that while Benzema avoided jail time, the conviction would remain on his record. In addition, he was fined €75,000. Benzema's return to the French squad was a redemption arc many didn't expect. In 2022, he was crowned the Ballon d'Or winner, cementing his place as one of the best footballers of his generation. But the shadow of the blackmail case still looms large. Though Karim Benzema managed to stay out of prison and continue his remarkable football career, the scandal remains a reminder of how close he came to losing it all. In March 2020, Ronaldinho and his brother, Roberto de Assis, were arrested in Paraguay under serious allegations of using forged passports. The two had traveled to Asunción to participate in charity events and promote Ronaldinho's new book. However, upon their arrival, Paraguayan authorities discovered that they were carrying counterfeit Paraguayan passports, despite both being Brazilian nationals. Ronaldinho claimed that the passports had been provided to him as a gift by local businessmen and insisted he was unaware that they were fake. Despite this defense, the brothers were arrested and charged with entering the country using falsified documents, a criminal offense in Paraguay. The case quickly attracted international attention due to Ronaldinho's global fame. The two brothers were initially detained in a maximum security prison, a surprising turn of events for the former World Cup winning star. During his time in prison, footage emerged of Ronaldinho playing football with inmates, capturing the public's imagination. His football skills were still on full display, but it underscored the surreal nature of his detention. After a month in prison, Ronaldinho and his brother were granted house arrest, which they serve in a luxury hotel in Asunción. This arrangement came after they paid a substantial bail. Their legal team argued that Ronaldinho had been misled, but the legal proceedings continued for several more months. In August 2020, the case was resolved with a plea deal, and both brothers were released after paying fines of $90,000 and $110,000. Though they avoided a formal criminal conviction, the incident damaged Ronaldinho's reputation and marked a significant fall from grace for him. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and press the like button for part 2.